Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news of a weekend of dramatic changes. Firstly, our thoughts are with today's earthquake victims in North Canterbury and Kaikoura. And Wellington has suffered damage, and many people won't be at work today until commuter services are restored and buildings declared safe. In weekend economic news, which has also seen some dramatic changes, banks are well placed to profit from them. On Wall Street, the banking sector's dramatic rally post-election day is likely just a taste of bigger gains to come, as investors expect banks to reap huge benefits from rising interest rates and lighter regulation under a Donald Trump presidency. Part of the optimism is that there are early signs the new US administration may be full of Washington and industry insiders. It is a sign of how far the world has shifted in recognising the need to tackle global warming. Beijing, once seen as an obstructive force in UN climate talks, is now leading the push for progress by responding to fears that Mr. Trump would pull the US out of the landmark accord. And in China, Singles Day has gotten even more enormous this year. It's the Chinese equivalent of the American Black Friday. Orders worth $1.5 billion were placed in the first 7 minutes on Alibaba, China's e-commerce giant. This one platform garnered almost 70% of all online trade, and more than 80% of this trade took place on mobile phones. In the 24 hours of the retail event, more than 1 billion delivery orders were placed. That is truly enormous. In India, there's been chaotic scenes outside banks 2 days after their 500 and 1,000 rupee note changes were withdrawn as part of an anti-corruption and tax evasion measures. Some banks ran out of cash, and at others, police were required to manage queues of anxious customers hoping to change their savings for legal tender. Millions of people who don't have bank accounts are now in a very tenuous situation. In Australia, former Labor Prime Minister Paul Keating has called for a major publicly funded program of infrastructure investment, something akin to New Zealand's current efforts in transport infrastructure and high-speed internet. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield will start today at 2.14% and near a new one-year high. Our wholesale rates rose sharply on Friday and may get another push up today, especially in the long end. The US benchmark oil price is lower yet again. It is now just over $43 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just on $44.50 a barrel. Falling energy prices will hurt the coal and oil industries championed by the president-elect and his Russian allies. In contrast, semi-precious metal prices are surging dramatically higher. The gold price is very much lower, however, down $40 an ounce to $1,225 an ounce. It has actually been a stunning retreat in a very short time. Lower gold prices will also hurt those states who brought up large recently, including Russia. New Zealand dollar will start this week lower than this time on Friday at 71.3 US cents. On the cross rate, it's now at 94.5 Aussie cents, and against the euro, 65.7 euro cents. The TWI is at 75.9. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.